Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's time to do Guardian of the Earth Shrine. And I said on Tuesday this is a demon enemy that is 50% weak to fire, lightning, and light, and has 135 resistance to everything else. You want to hit it with mages because you can't break its defense. Although depending on your team, you might bring a physical attacker or two anyway. Just kind of depends on what you want to do. But you can break its attack, magic, and spirit, and then also. It's going to get you lots of good stuff like Amarant fragments if you want to awaken your Amarant, tickets and recipes for Zidane's weapons, and lots of other cool stuff. So definitely want to do this one. And the good news is it is not that difficult, even at the hardest difficulty. So I thought, since it was not that difficult of a fight, that I would try and have some fun with it and bring an all Final Fantasy IX team. And even though I was trying to kind of bring like a suboptimal, like, let's do it in like several turns to kind of draw it out and have some fun with it like we're playing the actual game, it still was too easy. So we took that on Twitch tonight and we parsed it down to be really budget, really weak, suboptimal. Some units are not really wearing much gear at all, and here's what we've got for you. So let's go into Guardian of the Earth Shrine and I'll show you the team. Hardest difficulty 300, and our challenges are to complete it, use no items, do it within 10 turns, and have no continues. And the good news is this is very easy, even if you want to do this within 10 turns, because it's got a very safe, repeatable pattern that you can use to protect yourself. Here's our team. We've got Beatrix, we've got Steiner, we've got Envy Zidane, and we've got Vivi here, who's going to be carrying most of our damage. I'll show you their gear. Beatrix in the base form is not wearing anything because she does not use the base form. In her shift form, she is literally wearing her own sword, one STMR here, a quest reward here, and that's it. No vision card and no nothing. All she really needs to survive this fight that we're going to do is 100% earth resistance. If you're going to go beyond turn 3, then you're going to need fire resistance, ice resistance, and thunder resistance also at 100 or better. But you can see, even with just that minimal gear, she is pretty close already. So it's not that big a deal. Just have a little bit of, 100% fire, ice, lightning, and earth, and she's good to go. Doesn't even matter what her spirit is, okay? Steiner is wearing Healing Avatar's hammer from the Healing Avatar lid. This is just to get stop immunity. If you don't have this item, you could just give him a stop immunity item, or you could equip Lakshmi the Esper and learn the stop immunity spell that she has, and then he could become stop immune. But there's lots of ways you could do this. Otherwise, he's also geared for LB fill, not even maxed out, but he's got LB fill per turn and fill rate a little bit, as well as physical evasion, and that's gonna be just fine. So here's his gear, here's his abilities, and again, no vision card because I didn't awaken him to have a vision card. Zidane is wearing the Obsidian Bracer to break the boss on turn 1, and then otherwise has a bunch of LB fill and LB fill rate in the base form. So here's his gear. He's wearing 2 of his Chronicles because we're going to pretend like you have not beaten the Chronicle fight yet and unlocked his new Chronicle weapon. And then a bunch of LB fill stuff, Mood Makers, and Genji Tactics, which you can get from the newly awakened, or the newly unlocked, rather, Chamber of Arms. You can go in and get that if you've never done that before. So that's kind of cool. And then his own vision card. And then in the shift form, he's also wearing his the two STMRs from the Rakish Thief Zidane, which you can always upgrade these in the Chronicle system. His own TMR, and then just some story gear and quest gear and stuff like that. He's just geared for Demon Killer, LB damage, and LB fill rate, but it doesn't really matter because he's only going to be in this form for 1 turn. Doesn't even have maxed out Demon Killer. He just has some. Okay, and then our main carry is Vivi. Now, there's a couple things we have going on with Vivi. He is wearing, I can honestly take this off. He's wearing Spell Daggers. Spell Daggers were a quest item that we could get, and this gives you 10% fire damage boost. And he's going to be shifting, so this is going to that boost is going to carry over If you don't have the spell daggers and you want to do this, you could use you could equip him with the equip large sword materia and give him Neovision Reigns STMR, the obliterating saber. It has the same property on it on a large sword. It's just, you know, I chose this one. He's got his own STMR, and then just some stuff. Honestly, you could take most of this off. He doesn't take any damage, so I'll take this off. Doesn't take any damage. He doesn't need this. You know, whatever. He is wearing Louise's vision card, and then just those two things in the base form. In the shift form, he's geared for damage. So he's got, you know, Lulu's two-handed rod. He's got his own STMR. We've got Clash of Wills clothes. We have Strago's cloak, which was a STMR for a event unit. This only gives 25% true double hand magic. Not that big of a deal. Like you could honestly do without that, and you're gonna be just fine, or put something better on. And then you've also got LB. We've got True Double Hand here, and then just some Demon Killer. If you have it, you could put better True Double Hand on. I was just trying to kind of do it like kind of budgety. And then he's, like I said, got that vision card. But here's how he ends up looking. You know, this is the important thing. Demon Killer and True Double Hand magic, and then just high magic. You know, that's all he really needs. Let's get into it. So here is the rotation. Turn 1 is going to be AoE Earth Magic, which Beatrix is going to cover. Turn 2 is going to be some single target hits that Steiner is going to soak up. And he's going to get stopped, but he's going to have stop immunity from a buff that we're going to put on. Turn 3 would be Fire Magic. Turn 4 would be Ice Magic. Turn 5 is Thunder Magic. And then he repeats the pattern on turn 6 through 10. So it's very, very easy and predictable. Beatrix is going to just cover all of that, and it's not going to be a big deal. So we'll start here with Beatrix. And she's going to do cover and then Absolute Saber to start filling up Steiner's LB. And Zidane's too, honestly. There we go. Good. Steiner got some crystals. Steiner is going to go ahead and use Unstoppable Protection from the hammer that he's wielding. That's going to give him stop immunity. Zidane is going to triple Teammates Help Each Other. That's going to fill LB gauge for everybody. Okay, very nice. And Vivi is going to triple Life's Radiance to buff his magic. Threefold Firaga Blade Infusion, which is going to give everybody fire element as well as a chaining move that is going to do Imperils, which is kind of cool. And then Encouragement just to try and fill up some LB gauge for everybody else. He does not need his own LB gauge, so he's happy to share it with his buddies. There we go. Beatrix is looking really good on her LB, which we're not even going to need. There's her covering the Earth Magic, and we're totally fine. She's going to use double white here and Absolute Saber twice to fill LB gauge for Steiner and Zidane. And we're hoping to get some crystal drops on them. Steiner's got his LB. Good. So at the very least, we're good to go on that. Zidane needs to imperil the boss here, so we're going to go ahead and imperil with threefold Firaga Blade. Hopefully he's going to get some crystal drops off of this. If not, it's going to be okay. All right, he definitely did. We're good to go. So I think he's got it. Steiner's got it. He's got it. And we're good to go. So Vivi is going to go ahead and shift here and start stacking up. So he is a stacking caster. He's going to use quad focus 4 times. There we go. And Steiner is just going to provoke. This is going to increase his chance of being targeted, and that way nobody else gets stopped. And he's wearing evasion gear, so he's just going to dodge the attacks. There's the single targets. Double slash does stop you, so that's why he's got the stop immunity buff on, and we're good to go. So if you did not have Steiner's or Zidane's LB here, you could, with Beatrix, go ahead and double again and use Absolute Saber, which would probably go ahead and fill you up. Go ahead and do that now. If you weren't Phil, you most likely are now. Steiner's going to go ahead and use his LB. There we go. And Zidane is going to shift and queue up his limit burst. And Vivi is going to quad Firaga. And of course, we're going to cast it on Steiner. And it's going to bounce off and hit the boss. And then Zidane's going to hit with his LB somewhere in there, just to try and provide a little bit more damage. But you're going to see in the breakdown that Vivi totally carries this. So here goes Vivi and Zidane. And there we are on turn 3. Obviously, you could drag this out further. So if you don't have the gear to build up to turn 3 and do this on turn 3, do it on turn 4 or 5 or whatever. All you have to do is just keep filling Steiner's LB so that he can keep on casting that, and Vivi can chain with that, because that's what's really good. Now, if you also need to, you can just put in a 5th party member. The more party members you have, the more hits Vivi is going to chain with anyway, and it's going to do more damage. But, you know, like I said, we were trying to make this as like low as possible, and having fewer party members is one way to do that. But that does eat into Vivi's damage because more spells are not being bounced off. Here's our breakdown. Obviously Vivi carries it, but, you know, Zidane, you know, without really being the right unit for this fight, is still chipping in some nice damage. But Vivi is our boy. And there you go. And that gets you all the quests, everything was done. We got the quest done, no items within 10 turns, and we did not have to continue. So that gets you everything you want within 3 turns. Pretty easy fight. But like I said, I just want to have some fun with it since it was Final Fantasy IX. I would, you know, bring all Final Fantasy IX units and try and make it not just be a one-turn blow-up type of a fight. So hopefully that helps you if you're for any reason struggling with this. If you're a newer player and you're having a hard time with it, here's a way that it can get done. So go out there and get you some fragments for Amarant and get him up to EX +1 like me. So there you go. And we'll see you in the next video whenever that is. I'm going to try and maybe play around with some of the new units that I got off of this week's free pulls. You know, we'll see what comes out of that. But in the meantime, you guys be good to each other, take care, and have a great week. All right.